What is the future of the department? What is their vision of transportation in the department, in our community as well? And they pulled this document together in a matter of a month or two, which was an incredible thing, because I think if we had done it on our own, we'd still be debating the color of the cover or something like that. But they pulled this together, and it's a tremendous document, and I had some of the key leaders in the department serve as their advisors, and then we vetted the document in other spots in the department. But this is what we came up with, and there's some things that I'd like to highlight for you here today. Some of the things are pretty self-evident. We have a vision, and one of the key parts of the vision that you see in the document is being a global leader. And I truly believe that. I truly believe we in Minnesota can now function and operate as an independent entity, and we've got to think of ourselves as working not only in the national arena, but in the international arena as well. So that's a very key word in that vision statement. The critical issues that you see in the document, again, they're pretty self-evident: the aging infrastructure, environmental concerns, diversity and demographics. This is something that I'm very intent on taking a look at, and trying to have a workforce that reflects the community that we work in and that we serve. I think that's a critical part of our future, and it was very critical to these young folks that put this together, and I believe that as well. Rapid change in mobility and fiscal responsibilities. Again, these are critical issues I think we're all aware of. I want to talk a little bit about the strategic directions that you see in the document. These are some things that you'll see come out of MnDOT consistently, I hope. And all that we do is you can categorize somehow in these strategic directions. But safety is the #1 direction there. We've got to be concerned about public safety, and I truly believe that we've got to continue to push our safety numbers down as far as we can. We've got some great efforts already in our state. Our Towards Zero Death initiative is a tremendous effort. We've got a lot of safety projects out there. We've got to continue to do those kinds of things. Mobility, improve the access and enhance the movement of people and freight. Again, that's pretty self-evident, but it's a value that our public holds very dear to themselves, and we've got to make sure that we can provide for their mobility. Innovation. Again, we need to promote a culture of innovation, not only in our organization, but in our community, in the transportation community as a whole. And if we can do that, I think a lot of really good things can happen. And when I talk about innovation, people ask me that, what do you mean by that? Is it the technical innovations that we see out there? Well, yeah, that could be part of it. It could be things that you see out in the roadway all the time. But it's more than that. It can be innovative financing, looking at innovative ways to finance our needs. It could be innovative contracting mechanisms, and we've seen some of those already, but there's more to be had there. So it could be innovation on the softer side as well. Leadership. Again, I feel it's very important that we be a transportation leader, not only in our state, but nationally as well. And many, many good things can happen if we take on that role. I worked in a state once where the state DOT decided that due to budget restrictions they couldn't participate in national conferences, national events. And I can tell you, it did take only several months before their edge in technologies dwindled very, very quickly if you're not active and if you're not keeping current on what's happening around the country. And so that's something that I want to maintain and elevate in some cases. So. And transparency, how do we build public trust in MnDOT? And again, it's more than just MnDOT, it's in our community. And I want to share a story with you. We've been having a lot of discussions in the department about this idea of transparency. We've actually created a white paper and what that means. But we've kind of tried to get to the root of that in this issue of trust and how we can build trust in the department and be transparent. And we came across a book by Stephen Covey called The Speed of Trust. And we kind of pulled that apart, and at a recent managers conference, we kind of used that as a framework on how to build trust in a department. And there are 4 critical areas in there that I think are very pertinent to where we're at as a department. And that's Those 4 core areas are integrity, intent, competence, and results. Integrity, if we don't have integrity as a department, people won't trust us. Intent, if people don't perceive us as having the intent of serving the public, they won't trust us. Competence, if we don't have the right competencies and to deliver what we say we're going to do, people won't trust us. And results, if we don't follow through and deliver what we're supposed to, people won't trust us. So you'll hear us talk about that, and it's kind of an evolving thing in the department, but we're going to use that as a framework and guiding principles to address this idea of transparency and trust, and I wanted to share that with you. I have another document here. I didn't have to bring enough to pass around, but I'll share with you some of the principles on it. As we try to figure out how to do these things, we've created this document. I know you can't read this, but I want to just share with you what's on this sheet of paper. We're looking at market-based, risk-based principles to kind of get at what the public values and what our needs are. And we're trying to engage more actively in market research. And then we're trying to take that market research and integrate it into a risk management approach that will help guide us where our risks are and where we can use those risk opportunities to do the right things. And then we're taking that and looking at our investment principles. Our investment principles focus around safety, preservation, mobility, and regional or community development. And then after that, we're looking at what I call 21st century solutions, 21st century problems. We're getting the right solutions out there. We're looking at context-sensitive solutions. We're looking at practical design. We're looking at all those kinds of things that fold into this scenario. So this is kind of an evolving process in the department, and it's fairly new. And there are very few states around the country that have taken this kind of approach. But I think, again, it's very appropriate to where we're at today, and the idea that we've got to be responsive to public values and transparent. So you'll see more on that, and we're kind of developing a little marketing package that explains this and what we're all about. And again, it's the idea of being transparent in our decision-making processes. I want to say a couple things about economic stimulus. You read there was some press releases yesterday about what happened. The House released their version of economic stimulus, and we've been working very hard at this. And what we're trying to do is not so much get lists of projects out there. We're trying to make sure we have the processes in place to deliver, and the guidelines have been very much a moving target. We've been pretty well integrated in what's happening in Washington, and tracking it and being prepared, but it's very much a floating target at this point, where the projects need to be out within 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, what kinds of projects. You got a little flavor for what could come based on what you saw yesterday, but still it doesn't define what the guidelines will be, because those guidelines are what are really going to define what projects that we get out there. So we've been working very, very hard to develop the processes and work with our partners, and I've been concerned since day one that we can be ready, but our partners ready. And we've been working very hard with the industry, the construction industry, and the contractors and the consultants, and making sure they have the capacity to deliver. We've been working with our federal agencies.